So first question is from Alicia. Do internship and working in companies during bachelor studies count as working experience, or does it have to be 2 years of full-time employment at a company? I think I covered this already. So what includes as the working experience is only the full-time employment at a company. So internship experience is not counted as a working experience, but you can add it into your CV, that's okay. What about scholarship from Nelson? What about scholarship? I would like to get a scholarship in Xiamen University to study international trade master degree. So sorry to inform you, but the application deadline of Xiamen University has passed. It's actually last week on April 15, so they no longer accept new applications after the deadline. From Siraj. Some of the top universities demand for experience. So what is for the fresh graduates, for like fresh students? If you wanted to study master in business administration in China, but you don't have working experience, I can go back to the slides there. So some of Chinese universities actually offer business administration programs, and it doesn't require work experience at all. So a lot of my friends are studying at UIPE because I was a student there, definitely. Anyway, so a lot of my friends who studied at UIPE, University of International Economics and Business, IMBA program, they don't have working experience. So a lot of them are fresh graduates. So they just got their bachelor degree and then they jump right into UIPE to start their studies in the MBA program. So it's okay, it depends on the university, but if you wanted to study at the top MBA programs, like the one I presented before, those in CEIPS, CKGSB, Fudan University, then you definitely need to have a working experience. But there are also other universities which don't require working experience. So yeah, I think I cover all the questions. Oh, okay. From Alicia, what HSK level is required for English Taught Master program? So if you're applying for English Taught Master program, you don't need to have HSK level at all. Yeah, HSK is not required for any of the English Taught Master program in China. But if you are not from English speaking country, you need to submit your TOEFL or IELTS. That's it. You don't need to know any Chinese at all. So any one of you have other questions?
Hi guys, this is Rich here, so nice to meet you. Thanks very much, Nadia. That was an amazing talk. It's great to learn so much about the universities. So you can also unmute your microphone if you like, and you can ask questions. So I think Nilesh wants to ask a question. So your microphone is unmuted if you're ready.
Actually, my friends, I want to know about process of master degrees and which university are available in China and how much duration for doing the MBA and how much fees is there. So can you explain about it?
Yeah, so yeah, I think there's quite a lot of questions there. Kind of depends on what your budget is and what your requirements are. So have you looked at any programs in China that you like already?
Yes, absolutely, I'm ready for it.
Okay, so we could like I can send you like a link of different universities, and you can have a look to see which ones you might be interested in. And we on our platform, you can basically search all the universities and programs, and then you can apply directly to those programs. And the platform is designed to be like really easy to use, so you can just you can find all the information that you need there on the platform. And then if you have any more questions, you could ask us a question as well. Does that answer your question?
Dear Richard, dear Richard, you send me all information by email ID.
Yeah.
because before I applied for China, but I could not get response from there.
Okay.
So can you respond to my questions?
Yeah,
And
so I
all
think we
details send me to my emails. And I want to only one university, which is a good background, where there is a good gardens and sports activities also there, and also accommodation is also good. So
yeah.
dear Richards, please send me it.
Okay, so we'll follow up by email and send you email after this, and then we can help you more. Thank you very much, Nilesh. So I hope we can help you.
Okay, Richards, you are most welcome.
Thank you very much. So we have a few more questions. So Nelson has a question. What time of year should I be looking at the info for the scholarship in Xiamen? So I think the scholarship has already passed for Xiamen, but there is for bachelor you can still apply. I think, is that right, Nadia? Maybe you know, but I think the master isn't already passed. But you could apply for next year, or you could have a look at other universities. Like, so there's quite a lot of universities that are still open. Are you looking at? Would you consider any other university, Nelson? And for Victoria, you're asking about scholarship in UIBE or UFS. Do you know what university is UFS? So for UIBE, so the deadline is actually already passed for scholarships for this year, but you could apply for next year's scholarships, or you could apply for a university scholarship at a university called Beijing Foreign Studies University. They have some university scholarships. If you have high grades, you could apply for a university scholarship. So does anyone else have any questions? So I'll try and unmute you, Hamza.
Yeah, evening, Richard. So I just wanted to confirm, so all the universities, the classes are beginning, right, by September, or is it like online semester for the first semester?
Yeah, so for the, because of the coronavirus in China, at the moment, the universities, most of the universities are not, they're closed. Apart from one, Jiangsu University is open only for Chinese students, but all of the other universities are closed. But the admissions is going ahead as normal.
That's what I'm saying. So currently it is closed.
Yeah.
The thing I want to know is, so if the semester begins at September,
yeah.
So will it be online semester for the entire first semester, or do we have like classroom teaching for the first semester?
It's pretty hard to say exactly. We're expecting it to go ahead as normal because some universities have already started in China and the situation is pretty under control in China. There aren't new cases for a long time. So it's in China, it's like quite ahead of the rest of the world. They may, one university has delayed the intake, so CEIBS has delayed it until October this year. For the other universities, they're still processing the admissions and expecting it to go ahead as normal. If it basically depends on the virus situation around the world, because if it's still, there's still virus all around the world, they're going to be hesitant to bring all of the students back to China from all over the world. But we actually expect it to improve in that time, considering that China had it 2 or 3 months and it's been solved. And we're in April now, so we're expecting it to decrease around the world in that time. Or there could be like when students come to China, they will be like in a hotel for two weeks or until they are like, that's clear that they haven't got a case, or they've been tested before they come. So these are some possibilities. Right now, all of the universities are teaching online in China.
So how about,
does that answer your question?
Yeah. So how about the deferrals? So is it quite easy to get a deferrals from the MBA program in Chinese university, or do they like just specify, okay, because you already applied knowing the current situation, so you have to take the admission at this semester? Or is it
Yeah.
easy to get the deferral for the next year?
So I think they've been pretty reasonable about it. There's definitely less students applying this time this year than there was last year. So there's actually more opportunities to get scholarships this year because there's less students. And yeah, if you they're being pretty reasonable about it. Some of the universities are offering online classes, but students don't have to pay the full tuition fee. Some students have been given the option that if they've paid the deposit, they can get it back. So they're being really reasonable about it, and I'm sure they will continue to be reasonable about it in September. So if you wanted to defer, you could do that, or if you, it depends on you. And you could kind of look at it as a kind of insurance policy. You can have an option to go to an MBA program in China, and you can decide later exactly if you want to go to do it or not. The around the world, there's the coronavirus issue, and there's likely to be like financial consequences as well. And when there are financial issues, many students want to study in MBA programs. It's a great place to study when there's like financial issues in the world. So it can be a good opportunity to get into a good program. And then when you graduate, the job market will be rising again, and there'll be a lot more opportunities, and you can spend that time to study and learn new skills. So it can be a great opportunity to study in that time.
All right, and for somebody who's having a Z visa, that's the Chinese work visa, so is it
Yeah.
possible to attend the part-time executive program?
Yeah, so you have a work visa now and looking to do a part-time
Yeah,
MBA, is
executive
that right?
MBA, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely possible. For an executive MBA, you don't need a student visa. You can do it on a work visa. So you can apply to yeah, you can apply to any program. So there's some MBA. So the executive MBA or the part-time, you don't need a student visa. But if you're going to enroll on a full-time program, you'd need to have a student visa. You couldn't have a work visa. Yeah. Are you asking about any particular program?
Yeah, like SEBIS, like, do they offer like part-time MBA?
For SEBS?
Yeah. I
No,
mean, they have like
they're
a fast track one for 12 months instead of the regular 18 months, but I didn't see like a executive like part-time MBA from their website.
yeah, they do have different courses, executive MBA courses in SEBS. Yeah, so I could introduce you to some of those programs. Yeah, a lot of those programs are part-time in the EMBA. You do need to have about 12 years of work experience to take that program. So it's kind of targeted towards senior managers or in companies who do have a number of years of work experience.
Oh, 12 is like too like big enough. I mean, big for me. So what about like
Yeah.
any other universities in Shanghai? So which takes part-time executive MBA?
So how many years work experience do you
Like
have at the
around
moment?
5 years.
So you might be interested in the ZIBS part-time MBA program. It's based just outside of Shanghai, about 20 or 30 minutes outside of Shanghai, and they take the course on weekends. So that's quite a good program. What's your reason for wanting to take the part-time program?
No, I mean like you have an experience as well as an MBA instead of like going for the full time.
Yeah, it's great because you can do two things at the same time. That you could also look at. I do think XJTLU does have a part-time EMBA as well.
I
I
just
don't know
want to
if you.
like, yeah, try a different one.
Yeah, and there's also in Beijing, if you're interested in moving to Beijing, it's quite a cool city, and they have Peking University has a part-time MBA program with UCL and Valeric, which Nadia introduced earlier, which is a great program.
So how is like the perception like having graduated from an MBA program in China, for example, like if you apply for jobs in like outside of Asia, so how is the perception?
So, what kind of industry are you looking
So let's
into?
say it's like related to operations or supply chain, for example. So let's say that's what I'm telling. A student graduates from an MBA program in China, let's say top
Hmm.
5 or top 10 MBA program, and he wants
Yeah.
to maybe apply in Singapore or South Asia, Southeast Asia, or maybe European
Hmm.
countries. So how is the
Yeah.
perception? I mean, like he has an MBA from China. So how is the
Hmm.
perception of employers?
Yeah, so it's definitely like extremely useful in China to have an MBA because you have all the connections. As you know, it's not easy to do things in China, and the advantage of having an MBA in China is that you have the connections with all of the alumni who are really connected. And in China, connections is extremely important. There's, but it's also really like, for example, SEIBS is a lot of these top programs are well respected all around the world, especially if you're in Asia, because we were talking to a student who's working in Hong Kong now in finance, and he studied at SEIBS, and he said it was extremely useful for him. He managed to learn Chinese to HSK5, and now most of his clients he works in Hong Kong now, and he says most of his clients are from China, and it just gives him a huge advantage because China is like the biggest economy in the region, and it's the second biggest in the world. So it gives you huge advantages everywhere in Asia and around the world as well. And for supply chain, it's China's like like the biggest market for supply in the world as well. So
All right, thanks, Richard. Yeah, thanks for the webinar, and it was very informative. And I do have some more questions, but I like have a one-on-one discussion with you later.
yeah, sure. Yeah, we can send an email and we can set up a time to talk more later. Thank
Yeah, yeah.
you, Hams. Okay, so is from Siraj, is university English proficiency certificate acceptable instead of IELTS or other test? It really depends on the program. Actually, right now, because of the coronavirus, you're not able to take IELTS. So you could just apply without the IELTS, and then you could tell them you'll send it later, or you could take, you could send them something else. But the top programs are a lot more strict about this, and the other programs are a little bit less strict. So it kind of depends a bit on each of the university, but they might say that it's very strict on the website. But if you apply, they might be a little bit flexible. And that's the same with GMAT as well. So Martin, so what are the expectations of what kind of influence the coronavirus will have for international students? Currently, foreigners are not allowed to enter the country. Yeah, do you think maybe I covered this question a bit already? Yeah. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Do you guys help out students throughout the applying process? Let's say to get scholarship. Yeah, we can send you. We do have we're a free platform, so we can help you apply to any program for free. We do have some extra services for consulting. Like some students want us to help them a lot more to help to decide on which school. We can also help with introductions with alumni and with helping like a lot more throughout the process. We can also do that as well. For the scholarship, we could send you the information about the scholarship and how to do that. And it's kind of quite straightforward. There are university scholarships and there's the Chinese government scholarship. For most of the MBA programs, you can't get like the top MBA programs. The tuition fee is too high for you to get a Chinese government scholarship, but you could apply to the university scholarship for their scholarship. And basically it depends on the strength of your application. So if you have a really good application, you have a lot higher chance of getting a scholarship. So we can definitely help with that. Yeah. Cool. Does anyone else have any more questions? Cool. So we'll send an email later on with some more information about the next steps. Also, I'd like to share we have some upcoming classes that you can also attend. I'll just share my screen. Okay, so we have some upcoming classes that you can also attend because the universities are offline now. So there's actually we have classes almost every day from universities. So on Saturday, Shanghai Jiaotong University is giving, they have an online program. So they're giving a class on Saturday, which you can try. You can register for a free trial class. And this is a great program that you can take. It lasts about 3 months. And it has loads of really cool classes about doing business in China. On next week, we also have like a really good talk by Alex Duncan, who's the co-founder of Kwo.com, and he's going to introduce about social media and marketing in China. And he did one before, and it was really popular. And it's amazing talk because China's actually like a lot of platforms like Facebook, Google, YouTube, Instagram. They're all blocked in China. So how does it work in China? How's social media in China? This is a great talk from this guy. And then on Wednesday, we have information session from Zhejiang University International Business School. And they're going to introduce their programs, how to apply and opportunities for scholarships. And they have a part-time program. So it's a great opportunity to look at this. And then we also have a lot more programs coming up. So we have one about how to find and rent an apartment in China by Wellesley. And then we have a lot more, which is underneath. We'll send you the link later so you can see all of the upcoming programs. Great. So thank you very much. Hope you have a nice day. We'll send you an email soon.